Are we ready for more Doki Literature Club? I guess I am finally, because my motivation is kind of lower because there's not a lot of new material to find really. So, I mean, I'll do it, yeah. So let's go here, back to the save. Spent only a few minutes back home at home, anxiously awaiting Natsuki's arrival. Before I know it, she texts me to let me know she's outside the front door. Without delay, I open the front door to let her in. So right now we're with Natsuki at our place. Sup? Hey, I don't know what I was expecting, but seeing Natsuki in something other than her school uniform totally threw me off. Seeing her in such cute clothes makes the uniform seem totally unfitting in comparison. Geez, don't make it feel so awkward already. It's gonna be a long afternoon, so don't be weird just because you're not used to seeing me outside of school. Anyway, I'm coming in. Yeah, I'm assuming I'm not going to finish this game in this part yet, because again, I'm going to have to do a lot of skipping, and I want to see, there might be some new stuff with Yuri we haven't encountered yet, but I'm not going to get to the horror elements just yet. I see you brought a lot of stuff. Natsuki's carrying a large bag that is probably full of baking supplies. Well, I didn't want to come all this way to find out that your kitchen isn't equipped for the job. You bought everything I asked you to, right? Yeah, I did. Yesterday, Natsuki asked me to buy a bunch of ingredients if I didn't already have them at home. Good. Glad I could count on you to do your part. Well, of course. I'm surprised to hear Natsuki suddenly say that, rather than something snarky like she usually does. Could it be that she is a little different outside of school after all? Anyway, let's go to the kitchen. What? You're not even going to offer to take this heavy bag from me? Where's your hospitality, Chuck? Come on. Since when did I need to be a gentleman? I grab the bag Natsuki holds out to me. This is ridiculously heavy. Ha 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 ha. I carried that all the way here. Are you impressed? I see now. Yeah, I am impressed, Natsuki. Seems like I always underestimate you. Hee hee hee. It's because I'm so small, isn't it? You jerk. Natsuki hits a fist into my chest. Hey. Your size has nothing to do with it. Do you really hate being small that much? Eh? It's not like I hate it. I mean, sometimes I like proving people wrong when they only think I'm worth my size. It's fun when I get to be small and also better than other people. But, geez, never mind. What are you making me say? Don't think you can make me talk about weird things just because we're not at school. Are we getting started or what? There's a lot of stuff I gotta teach you. Hahaha. What? That's a little bit more like you. You're more fun when you just speak your mind like that. Hey, now you are treating me like a child. I was just trying to be a little nicer to you, you know? And just because I don't have a mature and sexy figure like Yuri doesn't mean you should treat me like... Natsuki catches her words and her face turns red. Natsuki? Forget it. I didn't say anything. I should apologize. Huh? I appreciate that you were trying to be nicer. I should have been a little more considerate too. But also, if that's what you're thinking, then you should know that there are tons of guys who are into body types like yours. You just said a weird thing in her mind. How would you know that anyway? Just trust me on this one. Gross. Hey, was that to me? Who else? Man, let's just get started already. Hahaha, you get all sour when a girl calls you gross. I finally found your weakness, Chuck. Natsuki smiles deviously. Please spare me. Well, if Natsuki decides to dish out more insults like that, there's no way I'm not fighting back. But she's satisfied enough for now. Finally starting to pull things out of her bag so we can get started. Before long, the whole kitchen is a mess. Spoons, dirty bowls, flour, spilt fluid, and plastic bags are strewn about every countertop. The mixer isn't big enough to make all the batter at once, so we've had to do it several times. Meanwhile, Natsuki is babysitting all of my movements to make sure I don't mess up her precious baking. Chuck, where did you put the food coloring? The batter's going in the oven soon, so I need to fill the trays. I think it's still in the bag next to the table. What are you using it for? To color the batter, of course. I'm making each tray a different color. That way, even if the flavors aren't different, everyone can still pick their favorite. Ah, that's a cute idea. Are we doing anything like that with the icing? Do you want to? You're asking me? I don't really have a preference, so... Come on. You're not putting any heart into this at all. Can't you at least try to have fun? I'm having fun. I'm not really sure what Natsuki is trying to get out of me. Meanwhile, I see her separate the batter into smaller bowls and put a few drops of food coloring into each. Ah, that does look pretty cool. See? It's not like baking is just about following instructions. The presentation is where you get to be creative and have the most fun. It's a million times more worth it in the end if just looking at it makes everyone's eyes lighten up. Like the ones you made on my first day, huh? I recall Natsuki proudly presenting her cat-shaped cupcakes and Sayori and Monika's delayed expressions. Wonder if I can make Natsuki proud like that too. Yeah, maybe I will use the food coloring then. Sounds like you're starting to understand. Just make sure you completely finish mixing the icing before you mess with the food coloring. Yeah, it's getting there. We were using the electric mixer for the batter, so I got stuck with a whisk and a huge bowl for the icing. Huh? The icing's still all lumpy. Are you even trying? Well, yeah. It just takes a little longer. Jeez, I'll be here all night if you do it like that. Here, look. Natsuki grabs the whisk from me and uses her other hand to tilt the bowl back. You really need to beat the crap out of it. After a few seconds, the consistency of the icing has already improved. See? As if to emphasize, Natsuki sticks a finger in the icing and pops it in her mouth. I reluctantly start to do the same. Hey! Natsuki suddenly grabs my wrist. I don't want your gross fingers in my icing. Your icing, huh? Are you forgetting who did all the work? I start to fight back, trying to inch my finger toward the bowl. Don't make me beat the crap out of you next. I'd like to see you try. I push harder, just enough for my finger to reach the icing. I triumphantly scoop some with my finger just as Natsuki tugs with all her might. Ah! The force of Natsuki pulling me causes me to stumble, making her stumble in turn. Gross. You got it on my face. Whose fault is that? There's a big glob of icing on Natsuki's cheek. She tries to reach it with her tongue, but it's too far away. Jeez. You know what? Take this. Natsuki instead wipes it off with her finger before shoving her finger toward my own face. You wish. I'm faster. I grab her wrist with my hand before it reaches my face. Natsuki tries to use her other hand to fight back, but I grab that one as well. Ha ha ha, stop! Not until you apologize for calling me gross. Fine, fine. I'm sorry for calling you gross. No, I don't mean it. It's just fun to see you react to it. You do that to me all the time, you know? Saying dumb things just to get a reaction out of me. You really shouldn't tease girls like that. Is that so? In that case, I probably shouldn't do this either. I take Natsuki's finger and put it in my mouth, licking off the icing. What? Did you seriously just... Natsuki is so surprised that she can't even figure out how to get mad at me. Her face is entirely red. Chuck, you really shouldn't do that kind of thing to girls unless you really like them. You know that, right? What kind of question is she asking me? Just like that? How did the mood turn to this so quickly? Natsuki gazes at me in silence. I notice her shallow breaths. Why am I starting to feel dizzy? Eh? I don't know where the fire alarm starts going off. Natsuki rushes over to the oven. Is something burning? I thought you didn't put the cupcakes in yet. No wonder. You left a dirty tray in there, dummy. How could you make a mistake like that? You should have checked before turning the oven on. Don't blame me for your mistakes. Jeez. Natsuki uses an oven mitt to grab the blackened tray out of the oven. She sets it on top of the stove. In another moment, the fire alarm stops. Anyway, I'm putting them in the oven now. Yeah, the tension from the moment before still lingers over our heads. But the moment has already been lost. I watch as Natsuki slides the cupcake trays into the oven. Then I reluctantly pick up the whisk and continue with the icing like nothing ever happened. Ah, that smells good. The cupcakes are ready to be pulled out of the oven. As soon as Natsuki opens the oven door, a blast of sweet-smelling warm air fills the room. Look how cute they all look. She probably shows off the different colored cupcakes in each of the trays. They'll look even better once we add the icing. Not like you need to tell me that. I bought decorating stuff, so I hope you can get creative. Here, scoop the icing into these bags. Natsuki hands me some plastic bags. I have these nozzles that will make it look nice and fluffy. This one can even make flowers. We probably won't be using it this time, though. What's this one for? I pick up one of the nozzles that has a much thinner tip than the others. That one's really thin, so you can use it to make stripes or other patterns. But you can also use it to write stuff on a cake. Like happy birthday or whatever. Huh, I see. That gives me an idea, actually. Huh? Well, it's a literature event, right? We can make it more literature-themed by writing a different word on each of the cupcakes. It would be fun to see people choose their cupcakes based on a word they like. I was kind of expecting to say something really stupid, but that's actually a really cute idea, so... Hahaha. Maybe I'm getting it from you. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not cute. Come on. We're not at school. Nobody's judging. You can't dress and act like this and not expect me to think you're cute. Well... Natsuki's voice trails off. Same with you. Huh? Did you say something? No, nothing. Let's just do the icing. Natsuki picks up the paste and fastens the nozzle onto each of the bags. There's a lot to do, so we shouldn't be wasting time. Here, I'll show you how to do it. Without giving me a chance to think about before, Natsuki quickly moves on. She shows me how to apply the icing, and then we each get to work. While I was reading this, I was actually thinking of how I'm going to do the next final part, because I think the next part will be final, and I'm pretty sure I know how I'm going to do it. But I'm going to see how far I get in this one first, or where I stop. I might actually not make this as long, depending on how I feel. When we're finally finished, Natsuki puts them all side by side to admire our work. Look at how pretty they are together. Yeah, they are, aren't they? I wish I could have one now. Well, there's no reason you can't, right? I don't see any harm in that. Well, yeah, but my dad's making dinner tonight, so I really need to save my appetite. Sarah's the exact opposite in that regard. If she was here, we'd probably be down 10 cupcakes already, and she would still eat dinner. Come on, that's just unhealthy. Besides, when my dad cooks, I need to eat as much of it as I can. Well, anyway, I was hoping we would have time for manga, but I need to be home for dinner. Ah, already? That's a shame. It's your fault for working so slowly. You should have thought about that. It's not like you'll always have this chance. Man. As usual, Natsuki places the blame on me. You can bring the cupcakes tomorrow, right? If you and Sayori each carry some, then you can probably do it in one trip. Yeah, I can do that. And don't worry, I won't let her eat any. I wish she would listen to me the way she listens to you. Huh? Yeah. I again think back to the conversation I had with Sayori earlier today. I felt so helpless. Sayori always does listen to me, but at the point it felt like she couldn't listen to me at all. Okay, I'm all packed up. Good work today. You too. I'll walk you out, I guess. Just like that, Natsuki's already about to leave. It feels like the afternoon went by in a flash. More than that, did I even take the opportunity to get closer with her like I wanted? Well, I guess I'll be off then. Thanks for all the help and everything. I'll see you tomorrow. Wait, Natsuki. Huh? What you said before about not always having this chance, it doesn't have to be that way at all. I had fun today. You showed me how fun baking can be, like you wanted. But aside from that, you can come over anytime, okay? I think that, if possible, I'd like to spend more time like this. If you want to read manga or go out somewhere. Do you really mean that? Natsuki looks at me tensely, like she's trying to hide her expression. Yeah, I want to spend more time with you. Chuck, I thought you only cared about getting this done. I'm sorry I had to leave so early today. I really didn't want to. I would really stay here longer if I could. I feel the same way as you, so... Natsuki suddenly gets closer to me. Wait, Natsuki! Standing inches from me, Natsuki looks up at me. I feel her fingers gently clutch at the sides of my shirt as if holding onto me. Her rose-colored cheeks and matching eyes fill my vision, along with her slightly parted lips. What is happening? My head starts to go dizzy as I feel her soft breaths against me. I've felt it for a while now. Natsuki slightly just back. Sayori? Huh? Ah. Hi, Chuck. Sayori? Just now we weren't... Hehehe. It's okay, Chuck. I just stopped by to say hi. Ah. Well, you should have come a little earlier. I'm already on my way out, so... Aw, really? That's too bad. Yeah, well, I'll still see you at the festival tomorrow, so it's fine. Just don't eat any cupcakes before then. Anyway, later. Clearly flustered, Natsuki hurries off and Sayori waves goodbye. Sayori. And now this is where I'm going to load the poems again. Yep, because we've already done this part. And now should be the easiest part. Well, I guess I actually don't know this one. What's effulgent? Oh, it's gay. It's good for her. Sad. Oh God, no. Oh, well, yeah, I forgot. Anger. What? Really? Holy crap. I gotta get at least the first 10. Hard, happiest, candy, silly, warm, whistle, poof, man. Okay, wait, which one here is for, okay, it's also things involving, yeah. Grief? God damn it. I don't want to get, like, the first few. Oh, my God. Dark. Oh, are you serious? Okay, come on. Now, why am I getting Sayori now when I don't intend to? It's because now I'm trying to get, like... Okay. So, this was easier at one point. What happened here? Oh my God, I did it again with anger. Why do you have anger anyway? Pain? Are you serious? Now I can't even get Yuri's done. What the hell? I know roughly what she likes. The adventure stuff and... Okay, Inferno. I think it's the more... Oh my god, really? Fears you? I guess that's how you're supposed to understand that she's... into that imagination? There we go. Hopeless? Are you serious? Okay, anything depressing now is not Yuri. Judgment. Analysis. Okay, good. I don't want to say broken. Suicide is not... Okay, suicide is going to be freaking Sayori, and I know that. I don't know about intellectual. Okay, good. I can't believe I'm having trouble with Yuri, of all people. Disaster? Good. Massacre? Okay, good. Hopeless? No. Not dark either. I don't know who likes loud. How about tone? Okay, good. It's a bit easier this time. When I kind of understand. Whatever, that's one. Scars. Oh my god, really? That's two for her. Scars would make more sense for Yuri, though, because she's the one who cuts herself. What's captive? Okay. Okay, basically, kind of like... I think I'm getting the hand of it. Abstract... more abstract things, I think, are her feeling. Extreme, I don't... Lust is hers for sure. I'm not sure about tragedy. That one's hard to think about. Wrath? Yeah. More of the intense things and abstract. That's what I'm going to say. There we go. Now I'm getting the hang of it. This I don't even know who it would belong to. Sadness is probably Sayori. Or would probably be Yuri. Yeah, again, with the abstract analysis, it's probably her. Empty is... I mean, death, unrestrained. Yeah, okay. Nightgown, I think, is Natsuki, personally. Disarray. Yeah. Destiny. Yeah, I think I'm getting the hang of it for her now. Defeat? No, okay, that's one. That won't really... It's variance. Okay, whatever. Anything that I'm not really sure who it belongs to. Massacre or Melancholy. Okay, Melancholy makes more sense. Massacre, Graveyard she likes, I know that. Fear, whatever, it's still mostly Yuri. So we can skip everything that I haven't done yet, but I don't know how different it's going to be, because I only got the Yuri scenes. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Ah, crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I'm out of this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed it in the first place. Because I've only done this in the second leg. I haven't done it in the first leg, so I'm not really sure if I'm going to encounter any differences, or they mostly kept it consistent. You just don't get the scene in the, on the weekend. That's the only thing I might have been missing. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so that's the book that you gave me, right? I wanted to reread some of it. Like, here's the thing. What about the cutting part? That's actually going to be a bit different, won't it? Not for any particular reason. Just curious. How come you have two copies of the same book? Ah, well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... Ah, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about anyway? Well... Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright. I just want to make sure you don't accidentally give away anything. I don't give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does, her life gets really strange. But she gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationship, and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Haha. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Chuck? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy these kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri's into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I could do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. Haha, what are you saying? Just a moment ago you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slipped into the seat next to Yuri's. Ah! Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. Yeah, in this one, they had to share the same book. I mean, the other one, they had to share the same book, didn't they? Now, this one, I guess I'm reading, but like, a separate book. She bought two. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry, I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more... Oh, okay, I forgot that's what happened. So, yeah. You know what? I'm just going to read this part for now because I got to fill up the partial part. And I'm not going to be able to skip fast enough anyway. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and her forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of her book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips on to her side. By holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Huh? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses a lot of things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But Chuck, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. That's so embarrassing that you think that. Wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I meant that's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. I think it's about time we share a poem today with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Your exhales is spared from finishing her thoughts. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own free time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? And we can skip that part. Alright, so let's show to Sayori first, and we can blah. And we can do Natsuki, which is going to be not skip. Chuck, if you're not going to take this clip seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What do you expect me to believe, that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Yeah, well, we know what it's about. And we can boom! Yuri's gonna be a bit different. Alright, Yuri. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional! Huh? What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Huh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just mean, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her fingers along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. Oh, okay. We can skip that stuff. Huh? It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Chuck. Me too. Oh, we'll actually get to read her third poem in the end, actually, when you think about it. Let's see. Hi, Chuck. Oh. Boom. Great job, Chuck. I was going, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. Haha, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness, Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively. Both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel. The one I'm probably going to get to is Sayori's death, and then that's where I'm going to end it regardless of what my time is. Or letting them deeply analyze all the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learning by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. Okay, we can skip again. Dun 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 dun. There's a fight. Now we're going to change it up a little bit here. We are going to go with Yuri. Natsuki, you're right that I liked your poem. See? Wait. That's not an excuse for you to be so mean. You shouldn't pick a fight just because someone's opinion is different. That's not what happened at all. Yuri wouldn't even take my poem seriously. I understand. Yuri? Huh? You're a seriously talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. Well, but here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feelings into it, and it becomes something really personal. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. I see. I didn't notice that. I'm sorry. But Natsuki, you took it way too far. Yuri means well, and if you just told her how you felt, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. Are you kidding? That's exactly what I did. It was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things that you didn't mean. Yuri apologized. Don't you think you should too? Natsuki clenches her fists. In the end, nobody has taken her side. She's trapped at this point, being defiant only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up even feeling bad for her. Sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps to take a walk and clear my head. Sorry, she doesn't need to. You know what? I'm going to do that. It'll spare me from having to look at all your faces right now. Without warning, Natsuki snatches her own poem up from the desk and storms out. On her way out, she crumples up the poem with her hands and throws it into trash. Natsuki! She really didn't need to do that. I look across the room. Yuri has her chin buried in her hands while she stares down at her desk. I gingerly approach her and sit in an adjacent chair. Everything alright? I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. No, Yuri. How could anyone have not gotten flustered for being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. Well, alright, I believe you. Thanks, Chuck. You're too kind. I'm thankful to have you as a part of this club now. It's nothing. One more thing. That one thing that Natsuki said about, I would never do anything so shameful. So, huh? What thing did Natsuki say? Well, never mind that. I'm going to go make some tea. Good idea. Make enough for more than one person, okay? Yeah. Okay, everyone. We don't get that. So she goes to see tea. Not see tea. She goes to make tea. But we don't get that whole scene that we, Ooh, Cage would be her, right? Oh, yeah. I should save at this point, I think. Over here. Just in case. Return. But I think I understand more so what she's looking for. She's looking for a universe. A fantasy. Oh, god damn it. Fantasy was her. Alright, let's try this again. Aura. Analysis. Oh, despise is a bit. Misfortune's also a bit. You see, I knew it. I knew that was going to happen, and yet I tried it anyway. Starscape? Alright, there we go. She likes horror. Yeah, she does. I don't know about shame. Well, actually, dang nabbit, why do you feel shame? It's Yuri who feels the shame. Tone. Analysis. Insight. Aura. Essence. Infinite. Climax. I don't know if it's supposed to be the climax of a story or the sexual climax. It's hard to tell with her. Entropy. Would be her, obviously, because I don't know what it is, actually. Oh, a question. Yeah, I figured. Vivid. See, I get the idea now with her. Universe. Sensation? Yeah. Again, an abstract concept. Incapable. Disown? That was not abstract. That's just to disown someone. Clouds? Okay, that one, I'm not even gonna care about that one. That was hard. Desire? Yeah. Meager. I mean, I guess it was gonna be her in the end anyway. Disarray, and we shall end with contamination. There we go. Only one I messed up. Skip everything until we get to Yuri. And like I said, oh, yeah, the slap. It keeps surprising me every time I see it. Alright, hey Yuri. Huh? Ah, I suddenly noticed that Yuri is reading a different book from the one we've been reading together. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. No. I was kind of just waiting for you. If that's the case, why don't we go ahead and get started? Yes, let's. Actually, I have a request. Do you mind if I make some tea first? Not at all. Thanks very much. there's one thing I can make that can make reading time here any better, it's a nice cup of tea. Not to mention for yourself as well. Yuri stands up and makes her way to the closet. I follow and watch as she retrieves a small water pitcher from the shelf, the kind with the filter inside. Can you hold this for a second? Sure. Yuri hands me the water pitcher and also fetches an electric kettle. I'm going to plug this in at the teacher's desk, and then we'll go get some water. She walks past me and sets the kettle down on the teacher's desk. I simply watch her movements. To my surprise, the way she moves really contrasts with speaking mannerisms, especially because of her long legs. Yuri appears elegant and methodical. Okay, may I have the water pitcher? Thanks, I'll be right back. Ah, I might as well walk with you. Okay, now this is the part where she would cut herself normally. Yeah, why not? Oh, we've been invited! Shall we go then? Yeah. Where are you two off to? Huh? Yuri was going to make some tea, so I suddenly realized how weird it sounds to explain this to Monica. We're just filling the water pitcher. Ah, okay. Sorry, I was just a bit curious. That's kind of a one-person job, isn't it? Monica, please mind your own business for once. Oh, snap! Or do you want to tell me there's something wrong with helping involve Chuck in club activities? Huh? My mouth gapes. I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. Then let's go, Chuck. Yuri quickly exits the room and I follow. You see, that's what I was thinking. Like, the whole cutting thing doesn't really make sense because, you know, it's true, I guess, that Monica basically just upped their personalities to the point where they did things they wouldn't normally. So, Sori would never have committed suicide. Her depression never got that far. She had coping mechanisms. Depression does not automatically mean, like, you're going to actually do self-harm or, you know, do things against yourself. People do come up with coping mechanisms sometimes for their depression. That's my thought, at least, of it. Because instead of letting it get to them, they learn to live with it as a part of their normal life. Which makes it even harder to fix them in that sense, because then, you know, they've kind of like become one with their depression. You know, it's different for people who, you know, kind of exert it in a very physical manner. That's my feeling of it. That's why I found Sayori's suicide a bit weird and out of nowhere, because of the way it manifests as extreme. And now we know Monica controlled everything. Alright, rant closed. Once in the hallway, she suddenly puts her forehead against the wall. I spoke without thinking. How could I say something like that? Yuri, something about the way she said that made me feel so irritated. What's wrong with me? No, Yuri, I think you did the right thing. I wasn't expecting it, but it's also not right for Monica to judge people like that. Chuck, how come even when I do something bad, you're being nice to me? Because nothing that you do is bad as you make it seem in your head. Nobody is perfect. We have emotions and we can't always hide them away. But you always amplify things in your head. Your mind turns a light rain shower into a hurricane. No. Wouldn't you hate me for something as terrible as that? Why would I hate you? I can't hate someone for having emotions. What kind of friend would do that? Friend, you say? Yuri lifts her head. Chuck, I really like being friends with you. Thanks, Yuri. I like being friends with you too. I feel like kind of awkward saying something like that, but I'm doing my best to help Yuri feel better. Anyway, yeah. Shall we go? Yeah. Yuri and I walk to the nearest water fountain. Once we fill up the water pitcher, we return to the classroom. Chuck, do you like oolong tea? Yeah. Anything is fine. Very well. Yuri sets the temperature on the kettle to 200 degrees. Whoa, goddamn. You have to set a temperature on a kettle? Can't it just boil to the automatic temperature? Now it's time to get the teapot. You really do this properly, don't you? Of course. I shouldn't do any less when I'm making tea for others. Even if I'm not an expert on tea or anything. In that case, you'll only be even more impressed. Perhaps I will. Yuri fetches the teapot and begins measuring the tea levels. To my surprise, she even starts humming a little to herself. You must be in a good mood now. Is that so? I was letting it show. And you noticed. I was doing a bit of thinking, and I decided that I would try expressing myself a little bit more. It turns out it's not very hard for me to do. Whatever, it's you who's around anyway. That's great, Yuri. Just don't push yourself too much. You're always worrying about me, Chuck. It's very endearing. Yuri wasn't kidding. I don't even know if I can keep up with this. I watched Yuri pour a cup of tea for each of us. Chuck, I have another request. Do you mind if we sit on the floor today? Huh? Why's that? It's a little bit easier on my back. I can read with my back against the wall rather than bending over at my desk. Sorry, I didn't realize. No worries. I just have back pain fairly regularly, so I do my best to manage it. Is that so? I wonder why that is. It's most likely because your posture, right? Always hunched over like that while reading. Yes, I have terrible reading posture, so that's why we should sit on the floor. Fair enough. I'll go ahead and get the book. I retrieved the book from my bag. Ah, I have some chocolate as well. It's a bag of small chocolate candies that I kept hidden from Sayori's candy radar. I take it since it'll go well with the tea. Yuri and I then sit against the wall. Teacups are our side. Okay, that's another thing, is that the chocolate he talked about, he wouldn't have mentioned Sayori in the other part. That's like a kid. That's like the corrupted version of the Yuri part, which for some reason Yuri is like the main thing in the second part. I don't know why though. That's kind of weird. It kind of sucks that there's no Natsuki part, but I guess some people found she didn't have enough character for that. As if in sync, we assume the same reading position as last time, each holding one half of the book. So I know it's really It's really tiny differences, but it still makes for a different experience slightly. Except this time, our bodies are even closer to each other. I can't see too well. Yuri slides closer until our shoulders are touching. How am I supposed to focus on reading like this? Yuri was always kind of cute, but when she's being less apprehensive, it's almost more than I can handle. Your teacup. Yuri hands me my teacup. Holding it with my hand that's not holding the book, I end up in a position that makes it even harder to focus. Because now I need to worry about making sure I don't accidentally touch her chest. Meanwhile, Yuri hasn't noticed a single thing. She wears her intense reading expression. I can only presume the world around her has faded away. I use all of my willpower to focus on reading. After a few minutes, I finally manage to relax a little. I put the teacup between my legs and fumble with the chocolate wrapper. Ah, sorry. I briefly let go of the book to finish opening the wrapper. You're gonna have as much as you want. Ah, that's okay. I won't take any. Huh? Are you sure? Well, if I touch it, then I might get smudges on the pages. Ah, you're right. I didn't even think about that. My bad. No need to apologize. I'll hold the book, okay? Are you sure? Of course. And then we get to this part. Yuri opens the book with both hands. She holds it so I don't have to any harder of a time of reading from it. But as a result, her left arm is practically resting on top of my leg. Well, in that case, Yuri's already totally focused on reading again. I take a chocolate candy and pop it into my mouth. Then I take another chocolate and hold it up to Yuri. She doesn't even look away from the book. She simply parts her lips as if the situation was completely natural. But that means that I can't stop here. I apprehensively place the chocolate in her mouth. Just like that, Yuri closes her lips over it. Huh? Yuri's expression slowly breaks. Did I just... Yuri looks at me like she needs to confirm what just happened. Chuck? Sorry. I guess I shouldn't have done that. That's... Well, you were just helping. That's something that friends do. Right. I mean, not really in this kind of context, but yeah. That's all it was. Yeah. Then, you don't need to stop or anything. I see. The situation has gotten really tense. Yuri tries to return to the book, but I can tell just by her expression that even she can't focus now. My heart is pounding. I nervously take another chocolate between my fingers, but this time Yuri's eyes meet mine. How did it even come to this? Yuri doesn't avert her gaze. I notice her chest rising and falling to the rhythm of her breaths. Breaths. Always makes it sound like I'm about to say breaths even though I'm not. It's a hard word for me to say because I guess I got a slight lisp thing. I raise my arm. Ah! Like before, Yuri parts her lips, but it's different this time. I take the chocolate and place it in her mouth. I feel her hot breath on my fingers. Okay, everyone! Whoa! Ah! Yuri jolts back. It's time to share poems. Chuck, you can help Yuri put away the tea stuff, right? Yeah, of course. Okay, thanks. The spell is apparently broken. I'll take care of the cups. Yeah. Yuri picks up the teacups from the floor. I pick up the bag of chocolates. In the end, we hastily clean up without so much as a word between us. I get the feeling this is something neither of us will have the courage to bring up. I guess the only thing is, I think, in the second part, I'm probably going to be able to skip things I already had with Yuri, so that's going to help out a little bit. Natsuki will tell me you suck. Well, I can admit it's better than the last one. It's nice to see that you're putting some effort. That's good, but I still don't like this at all. It's trying too hard to be serious. Huh? What do you mean by that? Poems don't need to be all deep sounding to express something. It's going to just sound like you're forcing it unless you really don't suck at it. Honestly, don't bother trying to write poems like this until you're on Yuri's level. Natsuki stops short all of a sudden. Don't tell me! Huh? You're not just trying to impress Yuri, are you? What are you talking about? And keep your voice down. You know Yuri would love this angsty. Just because she's a talented writer doesn't mean... Looks like I'm in trouble. I saw I struck a nerve, though what I did is beyond me. I'm so done with you. Natsuki shoves the poem I handed her back over to me. Take your stupid poem if you wrote it for someone else. Just don't show it to me. Ouch. This is what I get for letting a younger girl step into my business. Unless I was a mind reader, I was destined to be in a world of pain from the start. At least Natsuki wasn't really the girl I was trying to impress in the first place. I didn't even get to see her poem. That's how angry she was. Yuri! Let's see what you've written for today. Yuri stares at the poem with a surprised expression on her face. Do you like it? Chuck, this one might be even better than yesterday's. How'd you even pick up on this so quickly? Just yesterday I was telling you the kind of techniques worth practicing. Maybe that's why. You did a good job explaining. I really wanted to try giving it more imagery. Yuri visibly swallows. Even her hands appear sweaty. I'm not used to this. Hey, wait, I'm thinking about something. What if I aim everything towards Natsuki in the second half? Does that even really matter? Like, how much variation can I get in all this stuff in the second part? It seems like it's mostly just sails on through, no matter what I do. The only thing I can do is experiment. Used to what? I don't know. It's fine. Take your time. Yuri breathes and collects her thoughts. I know that Yuri likes to think before she speaks, so I offer that patience to her. Yeah, just being appreciated like this, I guess. It probably sounds really stupid, but seeing someone motivated by my writing, it just makes me really happy. Are you saying you've never shared your writing before? Yuri nods. Really? I don't believe it. I really only write for myself, and besides, people would just laugh at me. Do you really think that? Again, Yuri nods. Huh? Even your close friends? Yuri doesn't respond to that. I wonder why. Anyway, do you want to share the poem you wrote today? Yeah, I do. If it's with you. And we've... Is this new? It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my window. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed the strange, tenacious tendencies as a... I'm pretty sure I've seen this one, like, maybe not in this... I'm not going to read it out loud, I'm just going to skim it. I'm pretty sure in the second part I saw this. I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's. I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. I don't know if it's my fault, but I can't begin to imagine what this poem is about. That's right. It's a bit closer to my preferred writing style. Using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them. Yeah, if I take it at face value, then I can't even figure out what it's supposed to mean. Well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. I wanted to express the way it feels for me to indulge in my more unusual hobbies. It's those sorts of things that I'm usually forced to keep to myself, so I sometimes enjoy writing about them. Why do you keep them to yourself? Because they're embarrassing, and people would make fun of me. Don't you have anything like that, Chuck? Well, yeah, I guess I do. I feel like everyone has a little something like that. The best we can do is respect each other in our individualities, even if it's difficult sometimes, and some things make us uncomfortable. After all, if I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I would probably hate myself. I might be ranting a little bit now, but I'm glad that you're a good listener. You're good at a lot of things. Writing, listening. There really aren't many people like you, Chuck. That's exaggerating a little bit. It's just how I feel. I never thought I would feel so comfortable sharing my writing, but now I almost feel like I look forward to it. It's just a really nice feeling, and you're to thank for that. It's nothing really. Yuri smiles sincerely at me. For just a moment, her timidness seemed to disappear. And Monica, we can pretty much skip. Boom! This one's good. Feels like you're not only getting more comfortable with your style, but the imagery is better than the last one I read. Just wondering, but have you been finding inspiration in Yuri's writing style? I guess so. You can't deny that she's talented. Yeah, totally. I think her poems are the most romantic. That's the best way to describe it. She's like a totally different person when she picks up a pen. I noticed that too. Or when she's talking about literature, it's like a light turns on inside her. Sadly, it's hard to get much personal conversation out of her. Trust me, I've tried. Who knows what goes on in that head of hers. I hope you don't mean that in a bad way. No, of course not. I just mean that I wish she didn't keep so much to herself. But still, defending her like that, you must be pretty into her. Eh? You completely misunderstood. Haha, calm down, I'm kidding. Besides, I'm pretty sure she's already got a boyfriend. Wait, really? Yeah, a fictional one anyway. Monica kind of whispers that last part to me. It's just a hunch, but, well, there's not really anything wrong with that. Oh, well, I know. Oh, she's got a husbando. I was just saying. But anyway, want to read my poem now? And we can boom. So it does skip the poems you've read. So it means if you haven't seen it, it doesn't skip it. So some of the poems do change a little bit, it looks like. So, like, what do the poems even matter in the second part? That I would like to know. I'm probably going to record this only once a week anyway. Let's see, Yuri. Walking home with Yuri, huh? Why does the thought of that make my heart pound? I mean, given how hard it is for her to socialize, I would feel awful turning her down, so... Isn't she so beautiful and smart? That has nothing to do with what I just said. Ha, you admitted it. Jeez. There's not even any point in speculating on something that's never going to happen. A lot of it was going to be a repeat anyway. Well, at this point, I won't need to reload the first save anyway. So, I just gotta basically go through this one. An ending? Yeah, pretty much. Graveyard she would like. Pain is no. Tenacious. After image? Yeah, pretty much. I figured it out. I figured her out. Hey, she likes breath or breathe. Aura. Fickle. Infallible. Unrestrained. Incongruent. I'm just choosing all the incapable. Infinite. Ooh, judgment. And let's end with vivacious. All Yuri that time. And this is the one where Sayori's gonna pretty much leave after the poem, right? I just feel like I'm being watched. That's not in the room. Suddenly I notice Yuri peering at me from over her book. But she looks away just as quickly with a flustered look on her face. I realize that she won't get anywhere like this. I've never really seen Yuri approach anyone or start a conversation on her own accord. So I have no choice but to approach her myself. By now it's a little easier for me to do that. I stand up in front of my desk and sit in the one next to her own. I didn't mean to bother you or anything. Relax, you didn't even do anything. But I could tell that you wanted to be alone with your thoughts. Alone with my thoughts? How were you even able to tell what I was thinking like that? Well, it's something that I do a lot. So it wasn't hard for me to spot based on your posture and expression. Not that I was staring at you or anything. I didn't do anything creepy like that. In any case, I guess you were right. I'm sorry if I caused you any concern. Don't apologize. Your troubles are only the concern of those who willingly share in that concern. Of course, there are certainly those who find the most comfort in keeping it to themselves. But if you would prefer to share what's on your mind, then I would be glad to listen. It's really not that big of a deal. I was just feeling a bit uneasy about Sayori. Sayori? Yeah, she seems a little off today, but when I asked her about it, she didn't want to admit it to me. So I can't help but wonder if something's happened to her. Oh, that's quite romantic. Huh? Sorry, I didn't mean to say something stupid. It's not that. I just didn't want you to misunderstand. Sayori and I have just been friends for a long time, that's all. Ah, I see. Then perhaps it is unusual for her to be dismissive to you about her feelings. Or maybe I'm just reading into it a little too much. Chuck, the world is full of meaning, often hidden deep beneath plain sight. And there are many untold mysteries behind every person, no matter how well you may know them. Ah, so you think that there might be something behind it after all? I think that Sayori is a very complex person. Her mannerisms on the outside don't always match what may be going on inside her head. And she may not always know what she wants. I noticed her strange behavior today too. And I also feel some concern for her. But in your case, it looked like she was fully occupying your thoughts, wasn't she? Well, I guess that was the case. Sayori, she really means a lot to you, doesn't she? I guess, but you don't need to put it that way. We're just good friends, that's all. Yuri suddenly looks deeply into my eyes. Her expression is gentle and curious, as if she was searching for something. Embarrassed, I avert my gaze. Sometimes, a person's mysteries are untold even to themselves. And you, as someone honest and caring, may uncover feelings you weren't aware of you were in you. That is, I think that. She would be a very fortunate person to have you feel that way about her. Yuri, you're giving me too much credit. I'm a pretty simple guy, so I think I'm pretty good at understanding my own feelings. I'm not nearly as sophisticated as you. See, this is new because we didn't have this conversation about Sayori's depression yet with Yuri, and obviously. Ah, that's not a compliment, is it? It is what it is. Anyway, as long as you're here, why don't we do some reading? Well, as long as you're okay with it. Yeah. I should be taking my mind off this whole thing anyway. So we can skip this. Sayori's gonna leave. She's not gonna add anything new. Natsuki's gonna be angry. Yeah, no thanks. Huh? You didn't even... Next! Wow. That one's new. Chuck, your writing has only improved in the last few days. Every poem you show me has been nothing short of spectacular. I can actually feel the emotions. I'm a little envious even. I don't think it ever came to me this naturally. Yuri, that's the wrong way to put it. This never did come naturally to me, but I've been able to improve so much thanks to you. You're really the example I was chasing after. Is that so? Yuri gently smiles to herself. This feeling. I'm so glad I got the chance to share my writing. I never thought it would feel like this. I remember you mentioning that yesterday. I can't believe that you're so good at something and you've never even shared it with anyone. It's kind of a shame. Maybe, but it's not like I really had a choice. What do you mean? Well, Yuri smiles sadly. Chuck, during lunchtime I eat by myself. Did you know that? It's a great time to find a quiet spot and do some reading. In fact, I always have some books with me. You could say I really enjoy reading. Well, that's one way to put it anyway. But books are so full of amazing and inspiring people. People you want to fall in love with. Or people you just know would make a really good friend. Cheerful people who always put a smile on your face. Or deep thinkers and problem solvers who discover the mysteries of life. So when you look at it that way, I'm surrounded by friends every day. You know? And those friends don't laugh at me. They don't tease me for spacing out all the time. They don't make fun of my body type. And they don't hate me for acting like a know-it-all. People say that about you? No, I'm not a know-it-all, Chuck. It's the opposite. I don't know anything. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to make people see me as normal. I don't even know how to make myself happy. I have all these feelings, and all I can do with them is read and write. But it wasn't until now that I started sharing it with you that I really understand what I was missing all this time. But I haven't really done anything. No, that's wrong. Just being patient and respectful. That's really important to me. I know I'm a difficult person, Chuck. I speak too slowly. I second guess myself all the time. I read too deeply into things. But every time, you've always treated me just like anyone else. It's so rare that I feel comfortable with myself when I talk to others. But that's why every time I talk to you, I just feel really happy. I see. Well, I treat you how you deserve to be treated, Yuri. And if other people don't see it that way, then screw them. I mean, I joined this club hoping I would make friends. And I would say I've had at least one success. Wouldn't you? If you put it that way, yeah. We really are friends now, aren't we? Yuri puts her head in her hands. But this time she's smiling as she does it. Do you want to show me your poem? Yeah, I do. Let me get it for you. Ghost Under the Light Part 2. It's a Part 2. I didn't know that was Part 1. I've probably seen it already. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. In the distance of blue-green light flickers. A lone figure crosses its path, a silhouette obstructing the eerie glow. My heart pounds, the silhouette grows, closer, closer. I open my umbrella, casting a shadow to shield me from visibility, but I am too late. He steps into the streetlight. I gasp and drop my umbrella. The light flickers. My heart pounds. He raises his arm. Time stops. The only indication of movement is the amber light flickering against his outstretched arm. The flickering light is in rhythm with the pounding of my heart, teasing me for succumbing to this forbidden emotion. Have you ever heard of a ghost feeling warmth before? Giving up on understanding? I laugh. Understanding is overrated. I touch his hand. The flickering stops. Ghosts are blue-green. My heart is amber. Finishing the poem, I start to hand it back to Yuri. But instead of taking it from me, she looks away. Do you dislike it? No, of course not. I just don't really know how I should respond. Despite Yuri's poems usually being cryptic, it wasn't hard to figure out what this one was about. I don't know if I'll be able to explain this one. That's fine. I understand this one. Yuri is having an even harder time speaking than usual. Does this mean a lot to you? Yuri nods. I'm not really good with words, but I'm happy that you shared it with me. So thank you. And I hope we keep spending time together. Despite my inability to make eye contact, I see a faint smile emerge in Yuri's lips. I once again try to hand the poem back to her. But instead, Yuri gently takes my hands and pushes them back toward me. I hesitate in response to her warm touch. You can... The poem is... Once again, Yuri fails to form a complete sentence. You mean I can keep it? Yuri nods. I'd love to. Again, Yuri faintly smiles as if she doesn't want me to notice. You always make me feel nice. I know I'm not good with people, but I hope that I can return the favor sometimes. Yeah, don't worry. I think you do a good job. Yuri finally turns back towards me. I guess we should move on before Monica says something. But I'm sure we can talk again later. Yeah, I'm sure we will. With that, Yuri timidly smiles at me and returns to my seat so I can put her poem away. And we have Monica. We can skip whatever. Your style's gotten so refined, Chuck. Yuri's been teaching you a lot of things, hasn't she? Well, I guess so. Yeah, I've been noticing how much time you spend with her. I think I've heard her say more words these past couple of days than she's talked in a whole year. I'm not sure how you did it, but that's pretty impressive. Well, she just needs some patience and a way to talk about all the things in her head, I guess. I'm still getting the hang of it myself. You're certainly putting a lot of effort in. You must really like her. Huh? That's... It's always suspicious, you know. Spending time with her in the club room every day, reading that edgy novel with her. Well, I just feel bad that she has a hard time socializing. Makes me want to make sure she doesn't spend all of her time alone. Besides, the novel isn't too bad either, you know. Alright. I get you. Just be careful, alright? I know that Yuri isn't used to opening herself up, so if something bad happens while she's vulnerable, then it could be really hard for her. Her books aren't a total escape from reality. They're just a bandage. You say that like I'm going to hurt her. Sorry, I didn't really mean that. If anything, she might accidentally hurt herself. Anyway, I'll share my poem with you now, alright? Eh? You hinted at the cutting there. This is where I get to choose the weekend. I'm going to choose Yuri for consistency's sake. You know, I pretty much already did everything with her. So, yeah. This is pretty much going to take me to the suicide part. Nothing new is going to happen here. Because it's going to restart the game anyway. And that's where I'm going to end it. When I have to start the new game. Now I can pretty much continue on. And nothing will change. I guess it is a bit interesting to see the other character side story. Especially having Yuri's non-corrupted. I mean, here it doesn't really matter what the choice is. I already said I love you, so I got the CG for it. So let's do this one. You'll always be my dearest friend. What you need most is for things to be like they've always been. Okay, we've already read this part. What I'm curious about is the suicide part. Does he change his text? Because I already read this one. I think I was worried about that a while back. So now we get to this one where she doesn't come to school. Alright, so yeah, the route you choose. At first, you think that, exchange. Yeah, I guess this is the part where we can kind of see her self-awakening and she knows more than you think. Yeah. There you go. Oh yeah, they really did. Yeah, this is going to be where the start of this poem. It's different. This is the one where it's get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head. But that poem's never actually finished. It just stops moving. So, yeah, at this point, this is where Monica starts to interfere with things. Alright, so. Okay, starts to knock on the door. Because the last time he talked about how he said he loved her and stuff. Sayo. And then here. Text should change a little bit. Oh, Sayori, you killed yourself, but you didn't actually do it because Monica forced you. So the text should be a bit different. What the hell? What the hell? Is this a nightmare? Has to be. This isn't real. There's no way this can be real. Sorry I wouldn't do this. Everything was normal to a few days ago. That's why I can't believe what my eyes are showing me. I suppressed the urge to vomit. Just yesterday, I told Sarah I would be there for her. I told her I know what's best and that everything will be okay. Then why? Why would she do this? How could I be so helpless? What did I do wrong? Turning down her confession? That has to have been what pushed her over the edge. Her agonized scream still echoes in my ears. Why did I do that to her when she needed me the most? Why was I so selfish? This is my fault. My swarming thoughts keep telling me everything I could have done to prevent this. If I just spent more time with her, walked her to school, and gave her what I know she wanted out of our relationship, then I could have prevented this. I know I could have prevented this. Screw the literature club. Screw the festival. I just lost my best friend. Someone I grew up with. She's gone forever now. Nothing I do can bring her back. This isn't some game where I can reset and try something different. I had only one chance and I wasn't careful enough. And I'll carry this guilt with me until I die. And then, yeah. I can never take it back. Never, 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 never. Yeah, you can, actually. Fake end. Very fake end. And now we're at the corrupt version. Which is fun, isn't it? Because I can't find Sayori, that's why. This is where I end the game then. Because you know when you go to load, it's going to have all the games. Oh wait, the game. Also, why is there more than one page? That's weird. I think it's probably when I start the new game, right? Because Sayori's not in here. So if I try to load... What if I try to load a save? What happens, I wonder? Anyway, that's it enough. That's it for this part. Next time, what I was thinking of doing was making it through most of the corrupted portion up to a part I think I could be able to see maybe. And then from there continuing on to the so-called good ending and then the so-called weird ending. That's how I saw it described. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you with what should be the last part next time. There should not be much new content though. Anyways, so long.